Chef Buff Army, you gonna learn something today, once again, because I'm going to explain the science behind why you should not train to failure on a frequent basis. I've been saying this since 2009, but recently a lot of fitness channels have changed their opinion and they're also agreeing that you should not train to failure. However, I haven't seen anyone explain yet why you should not train to failure. It's kind of just a platitude. Oh, don't train to failure. I'm going to explain the science behind it. And I'm going to make the argument today that instead of training to failure, what you should do when you train is train to performance failure. And that's a big difference. Ignore the fact that they both have the word failure in the phrase. Huge difference. So let's get into big nitty-gritty details now. First, we gotta look at the nervous system. You knew it was coming. Remember, your brain controls everything. Your muscles, what you do, how much you can lift. So, we got two ends of a spectrum right here. This has to do with performance. This is a performance spectrum. When you're fatigued, you're tired, you're stressed out, you feel like shit, your performance is gonna suffer. The more fatigued you are, the worse your performance. Think about it. At the end of a workout, you're very fatigued. You just worked out. If I asked you at the end of a workout to, lift a 1 rep max, you'd suck. It'd be really bad. This is because you're fatigued. We understand that. On the other end of the nervous system spectrum and performance is potentiation. This has to do with the nervous system, making sure that it's primed to act and to act correctly. So if you're about to lift a weight, when you want to recruit those muscle fibers, your nervous system is very efficient and you can recruit them. In other words, you're very happy, you're very excited, you're in a good state, your nervous system, for performance. We always want to be in potentiation. We always want to potentiate the nervous system. Fatigue occurs at the end of the workout, but what happen too much with too many individuals is that by training to failure, so always try to squeeze that last rep, they're always draining their nervous system and they're always too fatigued. What happens essentially, they blow their load too early in a workout, and so that workout suffers because your first set you waste all your energy on and you don't have enough energy for the remaining workout. This explains in short why you should not train to failure. But let's go one step further. Let's attack this argument from another angle. What's the goal of training? Well, the goal of training is, to build muscle, increase strength. The real goal translated into technical terms would be to recruit as many muscle fibers as possible. Remember, in order to see results and change, you have to perturb your body to change. You have to give it a stress and force it, therefore, to adapt from that stress. If we know that building muscle is related to our fast twitch muscle fibers, to recruiting more muscle fibers, then it makes sense that we organize our training around that. To state this another way, as you increase the total amount of force you generate, you'll recruit more muscle fibers, more total muscle fibers. Force. Force equals mass times acceleration, right? So the weight you lift times how fast you accelerate, how fast you lift it. You can rearrange the equation to say that if you lift something faster, you're generating more force. If you lift more weight, you're generating more force. We care about generating more force. Now, we're gonna rearrange this one more time. Stay with me, guys, don't get lost now. We know force equals mass times acceleration. Well, if increasing your force also will increase your muscle fiber recruitment, then it stands to reason, rearranging this equation, that if you increase your acceleration, you'll increase your total MFR, muscle fiber recruitment. In other words, by accelerating on the concentric, when we say acceleration, we're focusing on the lifting concentric portion. I'm ignoring, for this video, the centric. There will be more on that later. But if we're focused on the lifting portion, we want to accelerate it. By accelerating a weight faster, we'll recruit more muscle fibers. And if you want further evidence to this, there was a recent study in 2012 that put another nail in the coffin when it comes to training to failure. The study found that the maximum muscle activation in an exercise is achieved a couple reps short of failure. Meaning, in order to stimulate a muscle, like you want to stimulate your chest, it's not the last rep that's going to count. It's the couple reps before that. So training to failure, blowing your load, getting super drained, getting fatigued, your nervous system's all banged up, you feel like a sack of shit, is not conducive in the long run towards achieving your goals. Here comes the fun part, the part that applies to you. How to take all this information and actually apply it to yourself. Because if you take these 3 rules and apply it to your training right now, I guarantee more results. This is what I say. You should train to performance failure. There's a big difference. This means, what's that mean exactly? It means this. Train until any of the following three occur. 1, the speed of the concentric, so the lifting portion, slows down significantly. We know what this means. This is the grind. You're on the bench press, right? You're doing, let's say, 8 reps, 225. You're repping it out. It starts to slow down. That's okay. What you want to avoid is that grind rep. The rep where you go from here to and for about 20 seconds, you're stuck in this position. You're trying to grind it out. When that speed of the concentric portion slows down significantly, you should terminate the set. Once again, getting back to these equations, we know that muscle fiber recruitment has to deal with acceleration. So if you're not accelerating the weight on the concentric portion near the end of your set, it's not conducive towards building muscle. So that's rule number 1. 2, your range of motion shortens. Exercises are meant for a reason to be completed with a full range of motion to get the full training effect. As you get tired, especially with pulling movements, think about, the seated row. You'll tend to shorten the range of motion to try and cheat. So you'll puff up your chest, you'll only bring it halfway. Maybe on the bench press, you won't go all the way down. This one's fairly obvious, right? You should not shorten your range of motion. If you consciously begin to do that, it's your body trying to tell you that you're already fatigued and you should terminate the set. So that's rule number 2. And last rule, obvious rule, is you should stop training when your technique breaks down. This makes sense though. I mean, if you're doing bicep curls, you see any bro in the gym, they'll start doing reps and eventually they'll start swinging the weight up where, their shoulders are getting a workout, gravity's getting a workout, their arms are getting no workout whatsoever. So if your technique breaks down quite a bit, you should terminate the set. To clarify this also, am I saying that you should never train to failure? No, I'm not. I'm saying a good rule of thumb for a lot of different goals you might have and for a lot of natural individuals. Remember, these videos are geared towards natural individuals. If you are using performance enhancing drugs, none of this matters. This whole video, none of it matters because all the rules are different. So don't use the argument that I know bodybuilders that train to failure all the time and they get great results, or I know they don't do a full range of motion, they get great results, or they don't go fast on a concentric, or their technique sucks but they get great results. It doesn't matter because the rules don't apply to them. I want to say that if you follow this, if you train a performance failure, so you follow these 3 rules right here, you terminate a set when the speed of the lifting portion slows down significantly, or when your range of motion starts to shorten, or when your technique just looks dirty, you'll get a lot more results. And this is not just me talking about this. There is solid science to back this up. I've been saying this since 2009. Not as eloquently, not as cool, not as sexy with this nice, real nice board here, but I've been saying these essential points. We are done with this video. I think I explained the science behind why training to failure on a regular basis is not a good idea. So thank you for watching my videos. Make sure, as always, if you enjoyed the video and learned something, to like the video, subscribe, and share with friends. Chef Buff Army, I will be seeing all you guys in the next video. Peace!